Hey everyone, I have very recently learned that there was meant to be a Marvel TV show set around like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, like in the same universe as the MCU, called The New Warriors. They even filmed a pilot. The show unfortunately wasn't picked up, but where was I during this time? How did I not know that this was a thing? I was probably sleeping. I looked up the team roster and they seemed like they had a strong team. What was Squirrel Girl there, you know? She has defeated Thanos before, so top level. I noticed that Mr. Immortal was on the team, and he's a character that's really intrigued me for years. I've never really delved into his backstory. I've never really purposely bought anything that's had him in it, because although he's intrigued me and I thought he was an interesting character, I've never really gone out of my way to look him up, I guess. I know the bare minimum about him. So when I saw that he was going to be on this new TV show that didn't get picked up, I decided to do some research on the character. And I was hooked, and reading into his life made my mood go down very fast, straight away. While doing this research on Mr. Immortal, I found myself really intrigued by his character. He's a tragic character that tends to be passed off as a joke, so I decided to do a video on him. So if you couldn't guess, today's video is all about Mr. Immortal and his tragic life. Before we fully get started, Mr. Immortal's life does include some sensitive subject matter that some people mightn't feel comfortable listening to, like suicide, so if you're not comfortable listening to or watching this video, please click off. Go have a look at some of my other ones if you want, but I'd rather you guys feel comfortable watching this. Mr. Immortal started his life as Craig Hollis. As he drew in his first breath, his mother took her last. Because of his mother's death, he meets a form of death named Deathurge, who was most likely about to collect his mother's soul when he meets the screaming newborn. Deathurge has a soft spot for the wrinkly crying Craig and decides to protect and guide him. Throughout his younger years, Craig and Deathurge grew closer. Craig seen him as a best friend and guardian, one who would get him into some pretty serious trouble that would worry any parent. Craig had a fairly normal childhood, if you count the scary imaginary friend that goads him into dangerous activities. If you ignore that, it's pretty average. This semi-normal childhood abruptly changes with a devastating fire. A fire that Craig himself set. Craig was just 8 years old when his father was consumed by the fire. In fact, it was on his birthday that he lost his remaining parent. Now, with no one but Deathurge, Craig is shipped off to foster care, where Deathurge soon leaves him alone with his new guardian, who was abusive to Craig. Craig finds a little solace and friendship in his foster sister Terry. The two remain close through the years, eventually falling in love with each other and moving in together. That's where I'd want the story to end, and that's where I wish the story ended, but unfortunately it isn't the end. Like I said, unfortunately that's not where this story ends. Terry takes her own life, leaving behind a distraught Craig, who now with Deathurge back pleads with him to take him too, so he can remain with Terry. A part of Craig suspects his old best friend had something to do with Terry's death. Of course he didn't. Deathurge refuses to take Craig to Terry, and the two part again, leaving the devastated Craig by himself. Craig's first death comes at his very own hands. Still grieving the loss of Terry, he jumps off of a building. Of course, he's Mr. Immortal, so he doesn't die. He didn't notice when he jumped though, so he attempts to take his life again and again, until he clocks on to his sudden immortality. With this gift, Craig decides to help people in crisis by becoming a hero. His first attempt at helping ends in a bullet to the head, courtesy of some bank robbers. Through this failure, Craig forms the Great Lake Avengers, an unofficial Avengers team. He's found a new family, kind of, a dysfunctional one, but a family nonetheless. Along with this new family came a new love for Craig, a tiny bit of happiness. Dinah Saw, fucking amazing name, a fellow member of the Great Lake Avengers and a hero in her own right, falls for the broken man. She's the only one that can calm him after he's been resurrected, and they were happy for 4 years. Again, unfortunately, the love story doesn't last, as Dinah is killed on one of the team's missions, leaving Craig alone once more. Craig is a fascinating character. He's someone stuck with immortality that wants to die. He does remind me of Deadpool in that sense. Deadpool wants to be with death, but they can never really be together because he can't die. Same with Craig. After the years of Terry and Dinah, he's found happiness again with the Great Lake Avengers and he's found solace again, but nothing can really solve his problems, if you'll call them that. He's always in the back of his mind thinking of Terry and thinking of Dinah and of the loves he's lost and the life he's leading. He is a fascinating character. I know I keep saying that, but he really intrigues me, and it's a shame he wasn't picked up in the MCU, but hopefully given time he will be. I don't think he'll be a main player because he's not really a main player in the comics, but he'd be a great side character, and maybe if they do go ahead with that Squirrel Girl TV show, he'll be great in that. Because of his lack of will to live, he has died in some of the most brutal ways. And keep in mind, he can feel pain. He's had his neck snapped, he's been blown up with dynamite, burnt alive, drowned, decapitated. He's been exposed to radiation. And that is just a tiny portion of the list. He was killed by Deadpool a lot. He was killed a lot by Deadpool, it was kind of strange. But anyway, yeah, that is today's really random video. If you have any recommendations of comics with Mr. Immortal in that you think I should read, please leave them down below because I will give him a shot, because this journey of me researching him, I'm really interested in the character and I would like to see him fleshed out a bit more. So any suggestions, please let me know. If you like this video on Craig, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel because I do videos like this every single week, and click that bell if you want to be notified when I upload. Comment down below any video suggestions, anything like that. We're nearly at 1,000, which is really exciting, and I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone.